fucking easy, man. Just fucking pull the fucking trigger.
What do you want from me, man?
Let's go, man. Shoot me.
No!
Come on, shoot me, motherfucker. Let's go. Shoot me, motherfucker, come on!
Déjà présenté à l'E3 dernier, Far Cry 3 fait également partie des gros titres d'Ubi ayant fait sensation sur le salon. Et si la présentation de l'E3 2011, qui avait elle aussi fait son petit effet, ne nous avait finalement montré qu'une toute petite phase de gameplay enrobée de scripts dans tous les sens, la démonstration de cette année était en revanche on ne peut plus convaincante. Et c'est à Dan Hay, le producteur de Far Cry 3, que nous avons pu poser toutes nos questions concernant ce titre qui, d'une année à l'autre, a quelque peu changé de setup.
Basically what you're dealing with is you've got a young guy named Jason Brody, and he and his friends have been backpacking across Asia. And they've heard this story about this island, and they said, okay, let's go check it out. And if you remember E3 from last year, we met Jason pretty much at the moment where he'd met Voss. And he stumbles onto Voss, and Voss grabs him, ties him to a cinder block, throws him down a cenote, and effectively almost kills him. And so it's been a couple of months now, and this E3, what we wanted to show was the flip side to that coin. We wanted to show Jason as the warrior. So Jason was in the jungle by himself. He was scared, he was cold, he was hungry. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to survive. But he met Citra. And Citra has begun to train him in the ways of the warrior. So if you look at Jason now, he's got tattoos all over his arm. He's got a bow. He's got the intention now to go after Voss. And where we find him, this E3, is leaving Citra's temple and now heading towards Voss's compound with the intent to kill Voss. What's really interesting about you watch the character grow. At the beginning of the game, he's not proficient. He's not a great killer. He's just trying to survive the next 5 minutes. So the first time that he makes that kill, it's not perfect. It's not clean. It's just to survive. When we see him this year at E3, we see a different kind of guy. He's now managed to be able to hunt. He understands how to use the jungle. He understands some of the tactics that he's learned from Citra and the warriors. He has the bow, and he's able to take guys out from extremely far away with a silent kill, and now he is hunting Voss. The tables are turned.
We are the warriors of the Rakyat, and I will lead you to glory!
Dans Far Cry 3, Jason pourra vivre toutes sortes d'expériences, et notamment celle des champignons hallucinogènes qui, en plus d'avoir un impact sur le gameplay, donneront lieu à des scènes complètement fucked up.
The thing we wanted to do when we talk about Far Cry is we wanted to make it real. We wanted to make it credible, okay? If you or I went on a plane or got on a boat and we went way, way away from civilization and we ended up on an island like this, we would eat things we wouldn't normally eat. We would get into situations that we wouldn't normally be in. We would take things and ingest things we wouldn't normally do. You just would. It would happen. It's part of the experience. And the reality is that Jason is there to experience. He's there to experience life and do something different. The problem is, it's not always what you're expecting. And Voss very, very quickly almost punishes him for that. But Citra is the opposite of that. She gives him an opportunity to discover the island. She is the island. She is beautiful, she is exotic, she's alluring, and so Jason begins to fall for the island. And the question is, for Jason, how far will it take him? Will he be able to come back? How far into this will he go? And when it's all said and done, will his friends even recognize him? When you look at starting to show the demo and you look at showing the whole game for that matter, you want to pick really key spots where you can talk about what are you trying to do with the character, what are you trying to do with the player, what's the little hints of the story. And so for us, the hallucination was a great opportunity to show what's going on inside Jason's head. For us, those hallucinations are almost like a confessional, where Jason is talking to himself and he's saying, okay, I've got my friends and I'm feeling the pull of Citra. And you can see that in the demo. You're actually seeing in our E3 offering that 1 minute it's Citra and the next minute it's Voss. 1 minute it's you with a gun to your head, next minute it's Voss. And Voss, you're not sure. He's in your head, he's rattling around to the point where you start to not be able to tell the difference between your own voice and his.
Far Cry 3 est un FPS open world dans lequel l'équipe d'Ubisoft Montréal tente de nouvelles approches dans la manière d'aborder l'action. À ce titre, on trouve une tonne d'interactions avec l'environnement et même avec la faune pour se sortir de situations tendues. Des idées qui ont clairement nécessité un gros travail, notamment sur l'intelligence artificielle.
When you talk about the game systems, we know that Far Cry is open world. We know that it's about discovery and it's about what's around every corner. But we wanted to make sure that this type of killing had the option to be up close and personal. It was emotional killing. Jason's got to get his hands dirty, okay? He's not just killing hundreds of people, he's thinking about his friends while he's doing it. He's thinking about his own survival while he's doing it. And sometimes when he does it, he's gotta use the jungle. So he may stumble across a whole bunch of AI, a whole bunch of enemies, and think, how am I gonna get through this? He's got to pick up a rock, he's got to throw it, he's got to work his way around, he's maybe got to light a fire, he's got to figure out a way to herd the AI, he's got to use the animals if he can. You watch in the demo as Jason sees the tigers that are in that cage and says, okay, I'm going to use it. He lets loose the tigers, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and Jason is fighting alongside of 2 Bengal tigers to kill boss. That's the kind of experience we want. We want it to feel like it could happen. You find yourself in this place, you got absolutely no opportunity to get by, you don't have a team with you, you're not a special forces person, you're just trying to survive, and all of a sudden, you're fighting boss with tigers. When we want to have players have that much choice, when they're going into action or whether they're exploring or how you do it, the choice means you have to have smart AI. You have to have enemies that are going to be smart, that look alive, and that the world feels alive, which means that you've got animals running around, and the animals, some of the, you have animals that can feed on each other. You have an economy there that makes sense. You have AI that's smart, so that if you decide to attack from the air, they're going to react. If you decide to set a fire, they're all going to freak out. If you decide to pick one off and they find a body, they're going to be smart about it, and they're going to be looking for you. They may let loose dogs. You could use animals to attack. That's the part where it's super tricky, and what we did is we just focused on saying, okay, what do we want the player to be able to do? What are the different things the player might do? And then you test it, and you play it, and you try and break it, and you test it, and you play it, and you try and break it. And what's been great now is that we're seeing people, they're using the animals, they're thinking of the jungle like a supermarket, they're picking up weapons, they're trying new weapons, they're trying new vehicles, and they're having a blast.
D'autres éléments de gameplay viennent enrichir l'ensemble, comme l'aspect survival par exemple.
In terms of survival, I mean, it's full scale. So you're gonna need to track down your friends. You're gonna need to use the jungle. You're gonna need to be stealthy on occasion. You're gonna need to be proficient with the bow. You're gonna need to do quests and work with the tribe. You're gonna need to, and this is important, you have to go out and hunt. And when you hunt, you're able to skin the animals, and you're able to then feed them back into the economy and buy new things. And we have that big loop so that the hunting is something that feeds all of that. And so I won't go too far into it, but if you imagine the more rare the animal, the more money it's worth, and so on.
En plus d'une expérience solo à première vue massive, Far Cry 3 proposera de la coop avec un scénario complètement à part, ainsi que plusieurs modes multijoueurs dont les thèmes tourneront principalement autour de l'affrontement entre Vass et Citra. Une grosse production bien ambitieuse donc, qui explique peut-être le fait que le jeu ait été récemment repoussé. Il faudra donc attendre le 30 novembre prochain pour profiter de cette massivité ludique qu'Ubisoft Montréal semble nous avoir préparée.
Pull the trigger! Let's go shoot me!
You or me?